Good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. I'm Paul Clark. Welcome to my studio. So what have we got for you lovely lot today? Well, we're going to have a look at taking this rather dull reference photo into a lively, brightly coloured line and wash. So come and join me and we'll paint this step by step together. So here is the reference photo, which was taken on one of our painting retreats in France. It's in the medieval village of Brancion, and as you can see, it was quite a dull, overcast day. But we're going to liven it up and add in lots of interesting colours. Today's materials: my paper is some Arches rough textured finish, 100% cotton. It's 140 pounds and it's on a block, so it definitely won't need stretching. But of course, any decent watercolour paper will do. Now for my colours, there's loads of them, far too many to mention, so I'll list them below as I use them. For my brushes today, from my range, a 3/4 inch flat, number 12 and number 6 round. And here's the pencil drawing, which of course is free to download from my website, link in the description below. Next, for the inking stage, I'm using this Micron Graphic permanent fine liner, and I'm keeping my line work nice and loose and wobbly because I want character in my line, leaving lots of gaps. I don't want it to look like a technical drawing. And the rough textured paper will help with this, but you could equally use some cold press. Bit of a panic here, the Micron pen has run out of ink, so a quick switch to a Stapler Permanent. It's the first one I could find, but it's equally as good. Now this whole inking stage took me about 15 minutes, but I'm speeding it up. Watching the whole thing in real time could get a bit tedious. I'm also adding in a few extra embellishments to this wall here just to make it more interesting. Quick rub out with all the pencil before we start. Off we go, and I'm starting with some nice bright blue here. Either phthalo blue or cerulean blue will work. Using my flat brush, it just gives me nice big broad strokes. And here I'm just dropping in a touch of cobalt blue. Clean water here, just randomly placed anywhere over the painting. Now I'm using loads of colours here, too many to keep mentioning, so I will list them below as I use them. But it's definitely a chance for you to experiment and use your own variations. And all of these colours are basically mixing and blending on the paper rather than on my palette. And all the ink work is really helping to hold the painting together, so it doesn't matter if the colours merge in. And continuing with my large flat brush really stops me fiddling. You definitely don't want to use a small brush for this. I'm intentionally trying not to look at the photo reference too much. I don't want to be influenced by it, I just want to create my own feel. I want a really nice brightly coloured roof here, so let's put in some cadmium orange. I'm even adding in here a little touch of purple. Areas where the sky is bled into the roof, all good. Also love this flat brush for going around straight edges. Nice bright green here with some sap green and a touch of viridian, but also you could use some phthalo green. There's also plenty of lemon yellow in there too. And here I've added in some ultramarine blue, not only to darken the green, but to get some lovely granulation. Picked up a bit of dry brush here, which is always a great effect. The colours I'm using here is all very much instinct. There's no real logic to the way I'm painting. It's just about having fun and experimenting. And again, continuing with my flat brush, it stops me from being too neat and precise. I'm just slightly lightening here with a tissue, but it's also giving me some nice stony texture. Just mixing in here some more greens for this foliage here, and just playing around with colour combinations. Of course, we've got to have a little bit of splatting. Now for these details, I have switched to my number 12 brush. It's got quite a fine point, so you can paint fairly small details. Again, I'm using all sorts of different colours here, all mixing on my palette, which is impossible to give you the exact breakdown. French ultramarine blue here for this shadow. How mad is that? But I'm going to tone it down a little bit with some Payne's grey. I'm really not trying for a realistic painting today. Really dark in here. Purple shadows? Why not? It looks a little bit out of context now, but I think it'll all come together when we finish. A little bit of dry brush here on the road with my number 12 brush. And just continuing on here with all the shadow sides. little more dry brush here and a touch of splatting. Now for the first time I've switched to my number 6 brush and I'm using some burnt sienna for these details. And the suggestion here of the odd little roof tile, less is more, we don't need to include them all. I always say this, one stroke if you can, it always looks more natural. Now this is something that I often do, the top half of the window I'm painting in the sky colour, it just helps to give it that impression of reflection. Just creating a little bit of contrast here to bring out the wall. And using some clean water here to soften the top edge. And just doing the same thing here with my number 6 brush on this large barn, putting in mixtures of burnt umber and burnt sienna and shadow colours just to bring out some detail. Again, not putting in every roof tile here, always leaving something for the viewer to interpret. It's also important that these roof tiles follow the same angle of perspective. Few more little dark details here and there. few dark green foliage details. Next it's time for those beautiful white highlights, and I'm using some gooey white gouache straight from the tube. This is some Jackman's Titanium White. A little smudging with my finger here just helps to blend it in a little. I always think it's these little white highlights which adds the magic to your painting. And with this little window here, I'm not trying to be too neat, leaving plenty of gaps, painting it fairly crudely. So now we need to let this totally dry. It's a perfect time for a short break, and as we're in Burgundy, it's gotta be a Pinot Noir. Right, so now all the colour work is done, I'm coming back with my black pen and just bringing out all those lines that have got a little bit lost, and just creating a little more contrast. We go, all done, and this one in just under 3 hours. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, and you'll give it a go. And this is definitely one to make your own, use your own colours, and it'll work even as a traditional watercolour if you don't fancy doing a line and wash. And a quick announcement, no tutorial next week, because when this goes out we'll be in our painting retreat in Austria. It's a very busy time of year for us, so we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. But in the meantime, please don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, it is free.
Ow!
Leave a comment, I do read every single one, can't always reply to them all, and I look forward to seeing you all again in 2 weeks' time. Have a great couple of weeks everyone, cheers for now.